Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Supreme Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki Jai. Go Premanande. Jai Jai Sri. Yesterday, we began to speak a little something about the purport to Bakasura Vada Lila, the killing of Bakasura. And we read a few things from Bhaktivinoda Thakur that I'd like to review and try to go, if we can, a little deeper in the subject matter. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that Bakasura Vada Kuti Nati Bhurta O Satya Hoite Mitya Bhavahara Bakasura Vada Tahake Nasha Nakorile Shuddha Krishna Bhakti Hoya Nath. That Bakasura represents false dealings. Kuti Nati, which, as we mentioned yesterday, the word Kuti means something which is crooked. And nata means to dance. So it means someone who's making a crooked kind of dance. They're dancing in happiness, they're dancing for your pleasure, but really it's a very crooked thing and they have some other motivation. That's Bakasura. And the word baka, which means crane, in Sanskrit, also means someone who's a hypocrite or a cheat. Someone who's using great cunning and deceit to cheat someone. And we read some things yesterday from the Brihanaradiya Purana about how certain type of people, they make a net to try to capture wealthy people. And that net is different ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices. We call them projects. Sometimes in our society. And we have so many projects, and you should donate for this and donate for that. One leading devotee recently told me, he's a zonal secretary, and he told me, he said, you know, they're making me take courses. I have to take courses in accounting, I have to take courses in management now, and it's required, and I also have to take courses in fundraising. And he told me, I never liked fundraising. This is Achyuta Priya Prabhu in Ukraine. He says, I've never done fundraising. All that Achyuta Priya Prabhu does is Kirtana. He speaks about the holy name. And it became so popular many years ago, a festival started with maybe 200 or 300 devotees that were coming. And they called it the Bhakti Sangam. And it was very expensive and difficult, so they charged a little money. And then it got bigger and bigger until it was, 800 or 900 devotees or something. And Narendra Maharaj went there one year, and they had to charge money to all the devotees, and you get a wristband. And he saw one devotee sneaking under the tent to go to Mangal Arti. And Narendra Maharaj told the devotees, something's wrong. If people have to sneak in to go to Mangal Arti, it's not right. He said, you shouldn't charge. Don't charge. The devotee said, how can we do that? It's so expensive. Big tent, trucks, all these sound equipment, so many different things. But they started thinking about it. And after a few years, they decided, okay, we're going to try it. And it's an interesting thing. Gaura Purnima Prabhu, who's in charge of that festival, he told us that for the many years, every year, they were operating in a deficit. They didn't make enough money. But starting with the year that they didn't charge anything, all of a sudden they had extra money. And because all the devotees were so inspired, and everybody would come forward, and they do make things known a little bit. They have to register because otherwise they don't know how many devotees to cook for. And when you register, they give you a beautiful pamphlet, and it tells you it costs about, I don't know, I think it's like $300 or $400 per person to feed everybody and take care of them. But you give whatever you can. And if you want to give extra, that's good. If you can't give anything, please come. We're very, very happy. So there are certain people, like Bakasura, who want to make some business. And Bakasura, as we mentioned yesterday, is a baka, the crane. He looks like a great yogi. He looks like he's meditating. He looks like he's in samadhi. But it's false. And therefore, Bakasura is a durta. And durta means someone who's very crafty, who's a cheater. He's acting like something that he's not. He's satya. He's a liar. He's very, very wicked. And his dealings are mithya vyavahar. His dealings are a lie. Excuse me, Prabhuji. Please accept my offenses and excuse my obeisances. That's really what he means to say. But he may say something else. He just wants to try to impress everybody. And Bhaktivinoda says that Tahaki nashana korileshura Krishna bhakti hoyana. That unless we eliminate this bakasura, these kind of false dealings amongst the devotees, false dealings with Krishna, then we can't develop Krishna bhakti. It's not possible. Yesterday, we were speaking something about how Bhaktivinoda, or my Guru Maharaj, he says that Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's patik pavan. He delivers the persons who are the most fallen. He said, but he's not kapatya pavan. He doesn't deliver persons who are very crooked. And it's very interesting and I think very inspiring that in his Bhajan Rahasya, his postgraduate study of Harinam Chintamani, Thakur Bhaktivinoda, he gives us what is the qualification for the holy name. Very, very important thing. I remember when I read that, my heart kind of sunk down into my stomach. I thought, oh gee. Now I knew sooner or later they're going to say, there's a little clause here, because when you join, we tell everybody when you come, just chant, dance, and be happy. Everything's cool. But then after a while, there's a little clause in small print, usually somewhere. Oh, by the way, there is one qualification. So my heart sank. I thought, okay, this is it. This is going to be the painful stuff now. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes two verses. We went over this slightly yesterday. I'd like to mention it again, because it's so important. These two verses speak about what is our qualification to chant the holy name. It's a very important thing. I want to know what is this. Krishna speaking to Uddhava, Jatashadama Katasu. In the beginning, someone has some faith in Krishna Katha, Jatashadama Katasu, in Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Katha. Nirvina Sarva Karmasu, and they're disgusted with the material world. They did Makam Kama, and they understand, they know that if I do some sinful things, I don't behave in the proper way, I'm going to suffer. But Parityage Pranishra, I can't stop. I can't give it up. This is part of our qualification for the holy name. And he goes on to say in the next verse, Tato bhajeta mam pritaha shadalurdada nishchaya jusamanasatam kaman dukodarkam strigarhayam. What should such a person do? Maybe some of you know some people like that. Yeah. I know someone like that. Tato bhajeta mam pritaha. He says, Krishna says, go on worshipping me with, worship me. You do it with prita, with affection. Shadalar, with faithfulness. Drita nishchaya, don't give up. With great determination. Jusamanas tatan kalman, even while you're doing your nonsense. Even while you're doing your sense gratification. Keep chanting. Don't stop. And what will happen? Dukodar comes to garhayan. Garhayan means you'll repent. Garhayan comes from the same root word as agni, or fire. It means our heart will become burned in repentance. Not just by going and shaking our finger at someone, but telling them these are the rules that we have here. but by chanting the holy name. Do you want to know something a little scandalous? Sometimes people, I've heard they protest against Satchidananda Maharaj because sometimes he goes to yoga events and he associates with Mayavadis. Radhanath Maharaj does like this also. I have something a lot more scandalous to tell you about a very senior sannyasi in our movement. Not only was he meeting with Mayavadis and such kind of people, but he's sitting down and having dinner with them. And not only that, but they were eating meat while he was sitting with them at the same table. And not only that, he personally arranged for the meat. It's a pretty big scandal, isn't it? And that prominent sannyasi's name is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He arranged like that. Because he saw that some of these wealthy, proud kind of people, they're not going to come and listen to a lecture in the temple. They're not going to sit on the floor with the devotees. They're not going to make a fool out of themselves and dance in the Kirtana. But they, in a very dignified way, they may sit down at the table as long as there's some meat there. And he knew that. And they'll sit down and have some discussion with him. Pranava Prabhu, who did his PhD on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's life and teachings, was telling me some of these things. And he said that when Ban Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's disciple, went to England, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wrote him and told him, you should also do like this. You should serve meat. And Ban Maharaj became very disturbed. He said, Guru Maharaj, we have a lot of Hindus coming here. They won't understand if I do like that. So they didn't do that. And it wasn't necessary. But we should understand that sometimes the devotees, they may do very extraordinary things. And we should understand from these verses, from the 11th canto, Krishna speaking to Uddhava, this is our qualification. Bhaktivinoda says this is our qualification for chanting. In the language of my Guru Maharaj, he used to often say, your only qualification is your disqualification. It's your only qualification. The only qualification that we have. We shouldn't be like Bakasura. Someone putting on a big show, acting like they're some great personality, when they're really not. We should just be very, very simple and learn to call out to the Lord in a very humble way. And then they'll become perfect in the society. It's a very wonderful thing that Srila Prabhupada gave us this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and this year we're celebrating the 50th anniversary. Achyutananda Prabhu, former Swami, remembers when Srila Prabhupada signed the legal papers establishing ISKCON as a legal entity. It was quite a momentous occasion. Srila Prabhupada came over to America with 40 rupees in his pocket. That's about $1 US, less than $1 US today. And didn't know anyone, had nowhere to go, was staying on the Bowery and so many things. And after several years, he was able to start this society. So Prabhupada signed the paper. And then he turned to the devotees and he said something a little surprising. Prabhupada said, actually, we don't need this. He said for ourselves, we could just stay under a tree and chant Hare Krishna. And of course, that's what he did in Tompkins Square Park. He said, but if we do like that, no one will come. So we have this society, and it's a very wonderful thing. But sometimes, just as sometimes you may have a person who brings you a wonderful gift in a beautiful box. Now, what kind of person is it who falls in love with the box and ignores what's inside the box? So if we fall in love, if we become enamored with the management and the institution and the rules that we have, or as Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivinoda says, speaking about Bakasura, people like Bakasura deceive the entire world by making a show of sectarian formalities and pseudo-renunciation, which is a little bit like the box carrying the gift. If we become enamored by the box and we neglect what's inside, what kind of fool are we? Srila Prabhupada, in one conversation, I think in New York, San Francisco, in 1969, Prabhupada said, that is the best form of religion. that one becomes elevated to devotional service of the Lord, not religious formalities. One has to test by the result. Valina parichate. You are a Christian, I am Hindu, he's Mohammedan. That's all right. You're very good, I'm very good, and he's very good. But what is the result of your following religion? Have you attained love of God? Simply, I go to the church, I go to the temple, and I do all kinds of nonsense. I have no love for God. I have love for my Maya. That is useless. It doesn't matter whether you're Hindu or Christian or Muslim or anything. The Bhagavat says, Savaipum samparo dharmo. That religion is best by which you develop love of God. If by following any type of religion you get this result, then you perform your religious principle very nicely. So this is the philosophy. This is the point.